Hello community, are you ready to dive into the world of Blazor? Today, I have an exciting tutorial that will transform the way you handle data in your applications. If you have ever struggled with reading data from Excel files, this video is for you. In this tutorial, I will guide you step by step on how to read data from an Excel file and display it beautifully in a Blazor table. Whether you are managing inventory, tracking sales, or organizing complex data sets, this skill will simplify your workflow and enhance your application's functionality. So let's get started. Before we dive right into this, let me ask you this. Why use Excel files in your application? Do you have any idea? Imagine you're developing an application for a retail business that needs to manage thousands of products, prices, and stock levels. Excel files are a common tool for business owners and managers to keep track of such data. By integrating the ability to read Excel files directly into your Blazor application, you can offer users a seamless way to import, view, and manage their data without having to manually enter everything. This not only saves time, but also reduces errors and enhances productivity. Let's see how we can integrate this. Make sure you have your Visual Studio 2022 or higher launched. Create a project. And we're going to choose Blazor WebAssembly. So give it a name, and that is Blazor Read Excel. And this is Blazor WASM. And in here, make sure you choose a location for your project. So click on Next and create to get this project created. So once you have your project created, there are some packages that we need to install. We can actually use a default file upload package provided by the ASP.NET team for Blazor. But well, I also have my own package that I want to introduce you. I've made a video on it and how to use it. But well, I'll also take you through again. Let's install that. We go to a NuGet package manager and we're going to install two packages. One is going to use to read Excel file and the other one is going to use to upload an Excel file. So let's install these packages. So under the browse tab, you type in Netcode-Hub. We want to install the file upload component. So netcode-hub.packages.component.fileupload, or simply Netcode-Hub. You can get this file upload. This is what we want to download. The current version is 1.0.5. And in that, you click on install to get this package installed. This package, as the name implies, will assist us in uploading file. That is going to be an Excel file. And aside from that, we're going to also choose, we're going to install EPPlus. This package also enables us to upload or to read Excel file that we're going to upload. So let's also EPPlus. So that is this. Let's get this package also installed. So let's see how we can use these two packages. Now, after you've done the installation for the EPPlus, you have the current version of 7, and you have some instructions that you need to follow. You can specify the license, and we can use this in our code, or you can put this in the configuration, that is the app.setting.json here. Then we can move on with it. We're going to use that, so don't worry. And in here, for us to use this package, what are some of the things that we need to do or we need to use? So in here, for us to get the instruction, you type in Netcode-Hub, you go to nuget.org. We want to grab instruction for this. Although I've made a video on that, but if you haven't watched that video on how to integrate this file upload, when you come to NuGet and I'll pass in the name Netcode-Hub, you want to go in for the file upload. You have the instructions in here. We want to follow this instruction so we can get this package installed. Well, use, because we've done the installation already. So we're going to use it. The first thing to do here is after the installation, we need to go ahead and use this. So let's see how we can use this, right? We need to use this component and now we can get it. Now with the use of this component, we can specify some extensions and this make this package exceptional, right, from the default one. You can specify which extension that you want to. You can also display some, maybe that is a upload progress. You can display it as well. So we're going to follow this and we can move on. Okay, so let me put this aside in here. Now let's go to our solution, and in here we go to our pages. In our home page, that's where you want to have this. Well, once you have this, all that we need to do here is we need to use this using statement from here. So we can actually grab this. Let's put it on top, and that is a package namespace or reference. Let's add that. The next thing to do here is we're going to grab this. Then let's remove everything from here, and now let's paste this. So that's our package, but we need to specify the extension. So quickly, it doesn't specify for us down there. All that we're going to do here is we're going to the code section. Well, we can also have an error in that. We're going to the code section, and in there, let's grab this and let's paste it. So we have the error down there, and then we have our code. We need to terminate the code section. We have our file upload in here nicely. Now we need to have retrieve base default string. This is not an image, so we can maybe exclude this because it is image that gives you the base default string. We want to upload different files, so let's remove this in here. So we cannot completely remove that because that is what's going to return the content file that we're going to select. So definitely we have to bring it, but let's continue. We're going to bring it soon, so don't worry. You know, it's a required property that you shouldn't skip. That's the reason why you have this one. All right, so there are several ways to get this. Now, in order to do it, we can, if you want to grab image, there's a way to do it. If you want to grab original file, there's a way to do it. This is for the image, this is for original file. So let's grab this original file down here. Then that is all. Very simple one. Let's put it in our code section. So here we get the original file from here. Then the next thing that we're going to be doing here is we're going to supply this retrieve file from what we cleared earlier. So notify, and we're going to specify this retrieve files down in there. All right, so that's what we need to do. Here we have an error, and that is what you have in here, but we haven't defined this error. So we can just grab this and make this a string. Very simple. So we have this, and that is the simplest way of using this file upload component. Let's create an Excel file for this. So let's launch our Excel. So for our template, you know, we have a default one, the sample report. You have this billing statement. For the purpose of this, let's choose the sample report. And now let's make sure we save this. So this is the dummy data that we have. Let's go ahead and now save this. So maybe I'll choose it. I'll save it to the downloads, and in here I'm going to say this is demo report. Okay, let me save it here. And now when we go back to the directory of this, let's navigate to download folder. We can check the extension for this. So let's right click on this. Let's go to properties, and in here it is LX SX, right? Yeah, so let's make sure we have the same name included in our, maybe I can just, let me pull this. So the extension that we want here is supposed to be LXS. So we want .lsx, then we have this X. So this is the extension that we want, and that is the only file we want to select or get uploaded. Now, once you're done with this, let's build this project again. Let me make sure once again that it is the same as what I typed. Yes, that's great. Let's run this again. So while this is running, you make sure you put a breakpoint because you want to actually grab the item in here. So let's put a breakpoint to this. Maybe here will be okay. And we go ahead, we choose our demo report, and our breakpoint must be hit. So let's go ahead and check it out from here. Let's stop this first, and I think we have to make some changes in here. This I think has been changed, and it is no more file model. File model is a property which can be found in Netcode-Hub upload model. So we need to provide Netcode-Hub upload model. Now this model houses the file model and also a message. Now this message is what we can get it from here as an error message or a response from this package as soon as the user wants to upload. This model, if I right click on this, then I go to pick definition, you know, this is coming in with the file model and also a message. That is a string property. And that is what you can see from here. That's the file model and property. So we can extract the file itself from this file model. And that is going to be the message as soon as we have any issue at all. Now let's close this. So here, this is what you're going to do. You're going to say this incoming file dot, then we can have access to this file model and we can have the iBrowser files as iRead only list. Now with this, we don't have to use this anymore. Now what we're going to do here is, with this error message that we have, or the error string property that we have in here, what we need to do here is to set the value to this incoming files, which is coming as a result of the method being invoked. Then we're going to say that message. And that is what we need to set. Now here we're going to put a breakpoint. Let's see whether we can have access to the file that we're going to get select. Now let's save this. Now let's run this. So we're going to select a file, and now let's click on choose file. We're going to select our demo report, and now from here click on open, and now let's see whether this pawn will get hit. So let's wait and check it out. Yeah, so it is hit. Now if I click on this, you see we are going to have the file that we selected. That's the iBrowser file, and that is coming in the form of what? That's the demo report.xlsx, right? That is the file name. We have the file size and the last date modifying the ID. The content type is also available, so we can extract them and use them based on what we want. Great. So now we have this set. Maybe we can also set this to true, so we can have the display over there as well. Now that we have this, what is the next thing to do? Let's include these following namespaces, and that is what we need to include before we can use the package that we install. That's the EPPlus package to read an Excel file. So in here, we need to use Office Open XML. So let's have at using. We have at using. We need to use Office Open XML. We need to use this package. Aside from that, we need Microsoft. So let's have a Microsoft.ASP.NET Core. Then .component .forms. We need to also use this package. All right, so here let's come and let's have our method to read. So this is a file upload. We want to put this on top. Now when you come here, we're going to have our private. This should be a list of list. We're gonna have list of list, then in a string. The reason why we are having this is, we're gonna read them. We're gonna read the record row. Now, with the row has a list of data in it. It's a list of string. Let me open what we just created and let me show you. So hold on. Let me open that. This is what we created. Now you're going to read them by row like this. And now this row has a list of strings. So it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? So a list for all. Now each list or each row has a list of strings. So that's the reason why we are having this form. Great. Let's close this. And let's give it a name. I'm going to say this is Excel data. Maybe I can set this to nullable. Let's have a method to read the data itself. So we're going to have a private. This should be an async task. Then we give it a name, read Excel file. Now with this, it's going to come in with an input. So we have this already. So this is coming in with what? We have this type is coming with iBrowser file. So instead of this, you're going to say this is iBrowser file, and we say this is file. Okay. Now whilst we have this, maybe we can have console. Let's display something, and there's going to be the debugging line. So we say console.write line, and let's say there's a file handler code, and let's have the file itself. So you're going to say there's a file that we have. So we can decide to, since we have it there, you can decide to go ahead, go straight and use it because we have it in here. You can also store it. You can also just have a variable to represent it. Let's use an Excel package. Now this package here, it is what we need to set the license. So Excel package dot license context. Then you're going to have a license context dot. So you have a license context. Then this we can say dot non-commercial. So license context, we need to add a t dot commercial. Okay. So we set the context to non-commercial. Then let's have a using, and we need to have a using. Let's say this as stream equal to new memory stream. So let's read the file. We're gonna say await file.open read.copy to. Let's specify the stream. So add an async, and I'll specify the stream. Okay. Let's set stream position before reading. So reset stream position before reading. So we say stream dot position. We set this to default. Then let's have maybe a console.write line. And now we're gonna say that stream length. Then we can have stream.length. So let's use the string interpolation to handle that. Then we're gonna say that here it is just stream.length. Let's close this. Then let's have another using, and in there we're gonna have our var package is equal to new Excel package. Then specify the stream that we have. let's have the worksheet. So we say this is a worksheet, and this is equal to this package that we have .workbook.worksheets. Now worksheets is a list of sheets, so we're going to set or get the first one using the index. So workbook dot, we're gonna have worksheet and get the first one. So after we have this, let's have the row count. So here we are managing our Excel file, and this can come from this worksheet that we have .dimensions.row. So do we have dimensions? So this should be not work. That's the worksheets. Then we can get dimension from here. So worksheets, then dot dimensions dot rows. Let's also have our column count, and this is equal to same worksheet dot dimensions dot columns. Now we're going to say this Excel data is equal to new list of string. Okay. Then we're going to loop through this, and I'll set it into the list that we have created. So let's use for to loop through, and we're going to say that end row here. Let's say in an Excel file in there, we start from the row as 1. Then this row is less than, since we're going to we have the count already, we're going to set it, this row is less than or equal to this row count. That is the count that we have from the number of rows that we have in our file. Then we have our row plus 1 anytime that it loops. In there, let's have our row data. So the first row, that is a 1, we're going to have is equal to new. We're going to have a list of string in here. Now with this list of string, what are we going to do? Let's close it. We're going to loop through that and also set the values in here. So in that row, we have a number of columns, right? So we're going to say that end column is equal to 1. That is column 1 in the first row. Then we're going to say this column here, it is less than or equal to this column count. Then we have our column plus plus. So we're going to loop through as well. And now here, let's have our row data. And we're going to add, we are adding worksheet dot cells, which gives you all the cells. We want to specify the address of the cell. So that is a row in here and the column. After that, you want to get a text, the value that it contains, and add it to that list. That is what you want to do. So it is going to loop through all and now set all the rows and then the columns data in here, because we're getting the text. When we are done with the loop, we want to add, we say this Excel data. This should be in a less line. So we say Excel data that we have dot add row data dot add then row data. And at the end, we can just have another console. So console.writeLine. And now we are saying that Excel data read successfully. Okay, So that is what we need to do in order to read the data. So we are done with that. Now let's go ahead and set up our table to display this Excel data that we have. So maybe down here, let's have our maybe break. Then we're going to have our div class. Maybe I'll just have container, fluid. Let's have our row. And here let's have our class. And that is, let's have 12. And in here, we're going to have our div class. Let's say this is card. And this card, I'm going to say this is Excel data. And aside from that, we need to have a class. And this is card body. This is a class, and it is known as card body. Aside from that, we need to specify whatever that you want to specify. And now here we have a list, so we're going to loop through it. So first of all, let's say we have our table. Now this table, let's implement Bootstrap class. So we say this is table. We have table responsive. Then we have maybe table hover. Okay, so with this table that we have, we can specify our T head. So we have our T head, and at the table head, we want to have a head. The first one is product. From the file that we have created, the first is product, we have customer, and the rest. Okay, so we're going to have product. Then we're going to terminate that. We can make a duplicate. Then this is going to be customer. We have the names. You have 1, and that's going to be 2. We have 3. And the last part here, 4. So that's our table head. Now let's go to the body, and we say this is a T body. And in that, we're going to loop through. So before we do that, we have for each. Then give me all the rows in this Excel row. So Excel data dot skip. Now here we are skipping one because we have our header set already. So we don't want to grab the header from the Excel. So we want to skip 1, and that's going to be the first one. So skip this. After you skip, then the next, create in a table row, and in that you loop through each row, display the content. So let's have for each again. And now that is var cell in row. So within this, let's have our TD. Now that is our cell. That is all we need to do. Let's make sure this nullable. Okay. Now we're going to, all right, so let's see, you have a T head table. What is it saying? So let's have our, I think T row should come in here. Then we need to close that. Okay. So let's run this. All right, so we are having an issue. If we check it from the console, it is saying that cannot be null and home.line33. So when we cross check, it is this. It means we have to protect it, and we can say that if this Excel data is not null. That is where you want to execute this, and that is fixed. Now let's save, retry. Alright, so it is ready. Now let's click on this, and we should have, so let's select our report that we created. Well, we have our file being uploaded, but we don't see the data in here. Why? Maybe when you cross-check, you can see that after we got the file uploaded, we did not call this method to read. This method is going to read the file, but we didn't call this method. So let's grab this. We can maybe scrap this since we are going to check for only a single file from here. We are not going to loop through. And let's say this is await, but before that, this must be an async. It should be a task. And we are saying that this await, we call this read Excel file. Then how do we get this browser file? We have this incoming file. So we're going to say that this incoming file .filemodel.iBrowserFile dot, let's grab first or default, and let's check for null. So this is what we need to do. Let's see. Okay, now let's save this and let's run this again. So this is ready. Now let's click on it to choose file. And in here, we're going to select this file. So you're going to have our display get uploaded. So as soon as it is done, it's going to load the file in here. And yes, we have it. Now this file is coming from, you can see, from our Excel. It has a lot. And as you can see from here, we are getting all this file from the Excel. Yeah, so that is it. You have successfully learned how to read data from an Excel file and display it in Blazor table using Netcode-Hub package. That's a file upload, and the EPPlus package as well. Feel free to drop any question or comment below. Until next time, happy coding and take care.